So in this lesson, we're going to talk about what to pack when you are planning your Walt Disney World trip with your child with autism. It's not as obvious as you think it should be, right? Just pack all your kids' favorite stuff. It should be, oh, we've gone on vacation with our kid before. Okay. Let me just give you a couple things you may not have considered. Okay. So you do want to pack your kids' favorite things, but not all of your kids' favorite things because you're on vacation. You know what I mean? All of the things can't come, right? So you want to make sure you're bringing what's necessary and what's bite size. You can't bring the big stuffed animal. Well, but he likes it. Well, if it doesn't fit on the airplane, if it doesn't make sense in the luggage, you know what I mean? If it doesn't fit in the stroller, it doesn't make sense. Okay. So you got to make it happen. So it has to make sense. Okay. So let's talk about first the sensory comfort items. What sensory bite-size, handheld size comfort items can you take on the trip? Okay. First of all, make sure you take some noise canceling headphones. This is the thing. You're going to be on Main Street, USA at Magic Kingdom. You might be at Animal Kingdom. Okay. You might be at Epcot. Wherever you are, there's going to be a parade. You don't want to miss that parade. And let me tell you this. I haven't been to a Magic Kingdom fireworks show since my kids were little. And my youngest is 25. But when I tell you last summer, when I went to Magic Kingdom's fireworks show, it was worth the price of admission. Okay? Let me explain something to you. How excited I was about that fireworks show. It wasn't just fireworks. It's like a laser. It's fantastic. Okay? It's a production. Okay? The way they transform this castle with the lasers and the smoke and the lights, and there were explosions, and it was loud. You're going to need your child to have the headphones on because your child's going to enjoy it. They really will. Your kid, the child inside your heart is going to come out and you're going to enjoy this show just as much as your babies. But you want your child to be able to enjoy it. You don't want them to sit there like, but the noise canceling headphones, you don't want them like this the whole time with their eyes shut because the noise is bothering their eyes. The noise, you heard me right. The noise is bothering they because the sound is so loud, they shut their eyes so they miss it. You don't want them to miss it. It's part of the magic. You want them to enjoy it. Make sure you get those noise canceling headphones, okay? I don't know, depending on the age of your child, maybe they'll wear sunglasses, maybe they'll wear a hat. My son is 25. He's not a sunglass person. That's sunglasses is not his thing. But I bought him some sunglasses because he's squinting. It's bright. Florida sun is not like the sun anywhere else. Florida sun is different. But he needed this to protect his eyes, right? Remember, they have sensory issues. They're more sensitive to external stimuli than everybody else, right? Get them a weighted lap pad or fidget toy, or their handheld, cushy, whatever, to provide comfort when waiting in line, whenever they're overstimulated, when there's a lot of crowds, when there's a lot of overwhelm, okay, make sure they have that comfort item. Okay. Snacks and familiar foods. Now, this is the thing. So maybe you have an Airbnb somewhere. Maybe you have a suite and your hotel stay has a kitchenette and you're like, well, we're driving. So we're gonna just take some foods, you know, or we're gonna go to the grocery store when we get there. The grocery store around there may not have all your child's favorite snacks and foods. Consider that. Or maybe you may not bring, maybe you're going to stay in the hotel, you're going to buy, I mean, you should be able to buy your child's favorite foods, right? They should have, not necessarily. So you might want to do some research because also don't want to be responsible for packing everything and trying to drag it through TSA or packing it in your carry-on or dragging it in your trunk. You don't want to have to be responsible for that either. But you also want to know what you need to bring. How many times have you been on vacation? I know I have. This has happened to me where I've gotten to wherever my destination was, and I found out that I can't buy what the thing that I need to buy. And I thought to myself, all I had to do was throw that in my suitcase. It's not even that, it doesn't even take up that much room. Some snacks, a handful of whatever, I could have just put that in my bag. Or I put it in my bag and I got there and I was like, I didn't even need to, that took up too much room in my suitcase. I could have just bought it when I was here. Do your research in advance so that you can have what you need and it makes sense for the trip, right? Understand that Florida heat is is a hydration situation. Hydration is key. Dehydration will make you tired. Dehydration will mess up your mood. Dehydration will affect your muscles while you're walking through the park. Dehydration will mess with your hormones. Dehydration will affect your hunger. You want to stay hydrated in that park. You want your family, your spouse to stay hydrated in that park. You want your kids to stay hydrated in the park. Okay. So what Hassan and I do, because we go to Walt Disney World almost every year. We're not going this year, but we've gone every year for the last 3 years. And what we do is we can't think of the word. We I can't think of the word, but we go from water to Gatorade to water to Gatorade to water to Gatorade. And then like throughout the park, they sell these little lemonade, Minute Maid lemonade slushy cups. And so like in between our water and our Gatorade, we get a slushy cup just to because it's hot, it's 100 million degrees down there. So it's just to kind of cool us off, and it's a nice little treat. You know what I mean? Whenever you are budgeting your money, you can't just budget for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks. You have to budget for like in between stuff because those little snacks cost money. Walt Disney World's going to charge you. That's for daggone sure. Okay. So make sure you are making sure you are drinking your fluids, drinking your water, getting your electrolytes. Like you might not want to give your child Gatorade. Like Hassan can handle Gatorade. He's 25. He's in a place molecularly that he can handle, I mean, the sugar and the dye. I try to get Gatorade that doesn't have all that dye in it because they have Gatorade that doesn't have like the dye-free Gatorade. If you can find it, then get that. Do not feed your child sugar-free drinks. That's in a whole nother video. Don't feed them sugar-free drinks. But you don't want them to have be loaded with sugar, high fructose corn syrup. That will mess with them too. But you want them to have electrolytes. So if you need to pack something healthier and bring it, do that. Okay. But you want them to stay hydrated. That's my point. I don't want to get into a whole nother lesson about, you know what I mean, hydration and how to hydrate properly. That's another video. Okay. Entertainment and distractions. Okay, so Walt Disney World, the purpose of this series of videos is to talk to you about how to be effective in navigating the park while on vacation with your autistic child. And hopefully, from these tips, you will be able to navigate the park effectively with minimal waiting around in lines, and I'll give you those tips for that. But at some point, you're going to have to stand in line. There's going to be a wait. There's going to be, you know what I mean? And so you're going to want to be able to keep your child entertained and distracted during the uncomfortable times. Like Disney World is a magical place. You're going to see a lot of beautiful attractions and your child is going to love it. But in during the times when they're not going to love it, it's not fun to wait in line. It's not fun to feel like there are crowds of people everywhere. Loud noises are not fun for even some children that don't have autism. It's not fun. So you're going to need to keep them entertained and distracted. Okay. So make sure you have some of their favorite items, tablets, um, phones with downloadable content because Wi-Fi is not always going to be available all the time. So have that content downloaded. Portable games, puzzles, their favorite toys, comfort items. Sing a song, play a game, you know what I mean? How many red items do you see? Let's count you know what I mean? That kind of thing to keep them entertained. Have those things in your back pocket so that you know what to do. Okay. Make sure you have your child's medications and comfort supplies. Bring necessary medications and make sure you have their vitamins and supplements. So Hassan takes a number of supplements and vitamins throughout the day. Hassan's not on medications, but he does take a number of supplements and vitamins. We have those packed up per dose. I don't bring a bunch of bottles on vacation. We pack them up per dosage. So he has his breakfast vitamins, he has his lunch vitamins, he has his dinner vitamins. So he has his lunch dosage that's in his backpack. He has his dinner dosage that's in his backpack. We need to listen, he can't miss his lunchtime dosage because then his brain doesn't like that because now he's fidgety, now he's confused, now he's you know tantruming, he can't think straight. He make sure you have that. You don't want those kind of problems. Okay. Make sure you have first aid supplies, anti-itch cream, and other things. Um, when we went to last year, we were at Disney Springs, and we get to Disney Springs, and Hassan's hunched over, and he grabs his stomach, and I was like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "No, yeah, I'm fine." Remember, I talked in a video a little bit ago about how our autistic kids don't always communicate when something's wrong. Not always because they can't, but just because they don't think about it. And I was like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "No, I'm fine." And I'm like, "Hassan, you look like your stomach hurts." He's like, "But I'm fine." And I said, "Hassan, does your stomach hurt? You have to tell me the truth." And he said, "Well, it does hurt, but I don't want to miss anything." Right? Or Walt Disney World. There's so much going on and he wants to enjoy it, but his stomach hurt. And we're at Disney Springs. I don't know where the closest first aid station is. I don't know where to go to a convenience shop to buy anything. But in my backpack, I had some Tums. I had some chewable Pepto-Bismol. Keep that in your back pocket. That's part of your first aid. When we think first aid, we think Band-Aids. Oh, I got some of that too in my back pocket and some Baxitracin. Absolutely. But make sure you have some Tylenol, some Advil in your back pocket and a bottle of water. Listen, keep that in your. He took some Tums. He went in the men's room. He was in there for about 15 minutes. He was good. Let's go. We're not missing anything. Let's keep it moving. So I hope this helps. And of course for packing, you know what else you need on your trip with your child. You know your child, you know your family. So I hope this helps. I'll see you in the next video.